Well, hey everybody, my name is Kalle Slaap, watchmaker from the Netherlands, and you're watching live watchmaking with me. There we go. Chat. Live chat. Hey Kilian. Leuk dat je erbij bent. Zo, even kijken. Let's get organized. Everything set. There we go. Opsa. Misha is there. Cool. Als je bericht verzendt. Oh, okay. Well, today the Longines automatic. Hey Manuel, Gary. Let's see on the workbench. A lovely, lovely Longines. They are so underrated, these ones, I think. There. Already see plenty to do. Let's see it on a wobbly cam. That word. And that word. Here. The Ultra-Chron. High beat usually. Automatic. Lovely watch. Yeah, Eric, vintage Longines. Hey, Edwin Delfzijl, gezellig man. Hey, Wim is daar. Niet altijd buiten spelen. Mooie dingen bekijken. So, Sophia, hey. Pete's there. Pete Watkins, Lithuania. Hey, Vitis. Oh, hey Rob. Leuk man. Gezellig. Charles. John Dell. Peter Meridian. Stockholm. Have to see what your name is. Hey Brashov, I've been there. Loved your place. I had lovely coffee at Brashov. Long time ago. No, a long time ago? Yeah. 2006. Early 2006. I've been there. Kilmarnock. Well, all of you, thank you so much for joining. Today, this lovely Longines Ultra-Chron. We have to be careful with the hands because there's a T over there, usually tritium. Maybe it's the original filling of the luminous paste. Maybe it isn't. We'll see. Toronto, Canada. Jason, Team Netherlands is in town. A sea of orange. So we made it in. So you're probably in Kansas or New York, I think. Your favorite brand? Yeah, well, so nice to hear. We're a bit sad and a tiny bit, no, well, a bit down because our co-worker Fons, he fell with his bike, and a very Dutch thing to do, and broke his shoulder joint. He is not the youngest, but he's been with us for over 10 years, every single week. Fons is over 80, and we miss him dearly. All the best, Fons. So it might take some time to heal the shoulder joint because it's completely broken off. So yeah, we're a tiny bit down. Well, open this. Maybe some of you even met him here over here in the workshop. Yeah, ouch. Yeah, it is, Charles. Dankjewel, Rob. Hitting the falling isn't the problem. Hitting that, it went so slowly. And he just fell. Yeah, unlucky. But watches is his passion and watchmaking. So, of course, he really misses it. And we really miss Fons. There. Ultra-Chron. There's the number. So, yeah. But the show must go on. There, what do we have on the inside? Never overestimate Swiss watch brands. Why not do it straight? Come on. Pluck. Ah, it's not a gold watch. As always, you probably heard it thousands of times now. I don't do any work up front. I don't know what to expect. But here all the information is welcome on the inside of a watch case. That it's repaired earlier on several times. The lunette plug door. So 20 microns of gold. Yeah. And then, well, what do we see? Lovely ball bearing. Rolex, please make notes and your watches will be even better. Not too much play. Oh, look at that. Easy test, always. Well, there's the pivot point. And if I push some here, you have to look over there if there's some play in the joint. And look at that. Not too bad. There. Excellent, excellent. Well, all the dust specks of grime and crap and really don't know what that is. Over there. Something that shouldn't be in there. And no rust on the stem. Do you see that? Lovely, lovely, lovely. Here is something sticking out, but that should be, yeah. There. All the grime and stuff is in the movement as well. Do you see there? Tiny fiber, no problem. Very coarse, well, it's, how do you call it? Well, not sunburst, well, almost snailing, but yeah, here I really don't mind. Lovely crisp sunburst on the ratchet wheel. There we see there's been a long time ago since it's seen any maintenance over there. That should be lubrication and some oil. It isn't. And there. Is it a bit of rust? Is that... Don't know what to expect. Hey, Claire Lee is there. And Todd, definitely due for cleaning, yeah. Edward, at least hardly any scratches. Hey, Rachi. Lovely. Little Viking, of course, for so many years now. Elder, gezellig. Leuk man. Paul, South Wales. Old South Wales, not New South Wales is on the other side of the globe. So, cool to see you. Moin. Yeah, Graham. No maintenance, no scratches. Wow. That's a, yeah, that's a bonus. Here. Just as you can see, the lovely, lovely design of the Longines logo. With a reason, not just because it looks nice. Because this bit is milled out. There's some flex in the rotor. So with some impact, the rotor pivot point is a bit relieved from a bit of stress. Just to do this milled out part, and they made it nice in the Rolex logo. Well, we've done quite a few of these because it is an sorry about the focus, a 6661. And it tricked me big time a long time ago. Because 6651 supposed to be the same as the 6641, but then with a date, as I recall. And now the problem was the rate, beats per hour. And this one is 28,800. But there are some movements identical, but not identical, of 36,000 beats per hour, the real high beat, the high beat. And if you replace the balance, because it was completely, I don't remember what it was, and you put in the wrong beat, it looks excellent on the time graph, and just beautiful, perfect adjustments with the beat and what was it? The beat error, perfect amplitude. Well, and then you put it on in test, and you see it is running incredibly fast or slow. And you put it on here on the timer, and it is perfect, because the timer reads the beats per hour, which is spot on. But if the beats per hour on the balance wheel isn't the same as your gear train, it doesn't run on time. Took me quite some time to find out. And I'm not sure if those were marked, but now we see the proper beats per hour. Cheers, everybody. Hey, another Normandy in the house. So cool. So yeah. So now we know the proper beats per hour. And it doesn't say, even in the Longines, we got all the maps and all the information here. And even in the factory specs, it doesn't say which one is which, and that there are two identical movements, but just with a different beat per hour. I don't know by heart, but probably we can see the production year from this number. Probably early 70 from 72, just by if I remember correctly. There, the click. This is very Rolex-like. Ooh, there's a bit of play. Do you see that? In here. I'm not sure. The only thing I'm really sure of, it shouldn't be there. Oh, QMac Hydra Conquest. Yeah. The angle. Not sure. Hey, Charles, hi there. They are wonderful movements. They made some monsters, but yeah. And the brand is so, for me, but I'm not in sales or anything, undervalued. Usually, yeah. Let's create some space and have a good look. Yeah. See a bit more of the movement. There are quite a few really impressive Longines movements. like the 30L. Oh, it was just so simple and elegant and beautiful. Carbon tip tweezers, why not? Lovely piece. So there, the bridge for the automatic winding module. And here, do you see that? There is some dust and stuff underneath the capstone, but is there a pivot of the balance staff? Fibers enough under the kiff spring, but okay. Here. Yeah. Is it resting on the pellet fork bridge? Okay. Maybe there's a problem on the shock system in the main plate. Goedenavond, Amanda. Broken balance stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's broken. I see a tiny tip, but not where I expect it to be. Oh, and here for the timing, beautiful design. And even in the early 70s. There, with the screw. And with the screw, you slightly adjust the timing pins here. So you cannot push it, but with the fine tuning, it's a beautiful system. It's beautiful. We'll have a look, because this is... There is no chance this watch was running properly. My first urge is to take out the balance wheel. Can we? Looks like there's enough space. Yeah, I want to know what's going on. I'm fully aware there's still power on the mainspring, but we deal with that in a moment with the automatic winding module and then release the click. I really want to see pivot is still there, top, and yeah, a broken, try to get it in focus, it's fiddly. So we have a broken balance staff with a shock system. That is It's hard to do. Almost impossible when just wearing the watch on your wrist. Even kijken hoor, fiddly. Yeah. There we go. Fiddly job. The focus was too high for the microscope. Should have lowered my bench, my stool, and just look from there. Yeah. Well. Ja. Is it an open system? It is. No need to make marks on the balance rim. Even you see that it isn't dangling too much, so already see high beat. Komt u maar. I have to concentrate for a moment. There we are. Yeah. Had to concentrate. Okay. Okay. Well. If I give you a running watch and I say, please break the balance staff with a KIF shock system, how do you break a balance staff? That is just about impossible. And here we find this tension ring. Okay. And there we have a perfect spring. And a broken balance staff. And the spring is lovely centered. It is perfect with the balance wheel. I find it hard to believe that it's broken during use. What do you think? Drop the watch on the floor, but nah, with a shock system. There are many ways to break, yeah. And usually with the balance wheel not perfectly straight, and then try to put in the balance cock. Already interesting. Ondertussen, in the meantime, We are prepared, Juriaan and myself. Juriaan, if you ever contacted Chronoglide, you probably talked to Juriaan. He is my left and right hand and partner here in the workshop. We are preparing a masterclass. You're the first to know now. We're probably going to do it on a Sunday. And masterclass chronometry. So balance spring. Not everything there's to know, because there's a lot to know. But yeah, adjustments, some theory. Masterclass, it's going to be free. But you probably hear a bit more about it well, soon. We're preparing, because that is probably the question we get most, working on balance springs. And if you don't fully comprehend the theory, practical work is so much harder. Let's take this out without leaving any marks. That would be nice. There we are. And what I find baffling is if I play with a light. So many rubies everywhere. Lovely, protected pivots. Except for the one that takes the brunt. The most force is on this wheel, because it's driving the ratchet wheel. And they have to push in those bearings, and they're not ruby. I find that so strange. Here. Wiggle wiggle test. Why not place a ruby there? They're everywhere except those two, where they most need it. It still looks like rust. You can see all the debris and stuff there, but it is a lot like rust. There. Well, why not see the state of the pivots? And I have a tiny splinter in my finger here. Yeah, there it is. That is so annoying. Let me take care of that. It is from the glass fiber. Well, live operation from Hospital Chronoglide. There it is. There. That was so annoying. Yeah, so much better. Thank you for your patience. Okay. And here, just lovely screws, rounded, polished, beautiful. Yeah, Eric, I think you're right. So, still wondering about the pivot. It doesn't just break. next. And try to take it out of the recess. Gently lift it up. Where? There. And then we'll see the state of the pivots, because it is been quite a long time since it's seen any lubrication. There we are. Here. It is, yeah. There. Well, we have to clean it, but could be worse. Just look at that. If you, well, you've probably seen many times the Seiko magic lever. Well, if you don't, just allow me just a minute. If you've seen it before, it only takes a minute to explain. Once you see it, it's so easy. Magic lever from Seiko. And the trick is to change a bidirectional rotation to a unidirectional rotation. Here you can see the arrows. So whatever the rotor, the weight in the watch, that's it's winding. If it goes that way, yeah, and if it goes the other way, that wheel is always just turning one way. It's either pulling or pushing. Makes sense, right? Pulling and pushing, no matter what does that almost does. Here, this construction in the Swiss way of doing, that is just a few, Seiko just uses just a few parts and it is bulletproof. Not really, you have to lubricate because the tips, especially from the late 60s Seikos, they can go. But here, just this wheel, only this wheel, has probably got 3 times the parts. Just this wheel has 3 times the parts of the complete magic lever, because you have the pivot, pivot, pinion, wheel, there in between a pinion. Do you see it from the in between there? There is so much going on, it is mind-boggling. Because there is another pinion, probably better visible like this, hopefully. Do you see there, there's a satellite wheel with a pivot. There's a pinion in between, a plate, a pinion in between, a satellite wheel, a wheel, and there, so you can, it's all on one pivot. I fully believe that there are, let's see, pivot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 12 parts in just this wheel. That's a Swiss for you. And the pivot for those satellite wheels, that's another part. Completely insane. And if that pivot or that pivot is mushroom shaped, you have to replace the complete part. And that's why I was saying I really cannot understand that one part, which is 12 parts in itself, rotates not in Ruby. That is just why cut corners there when you are able to make a part like this. Yeah. You found the loose pivot. Oh, did I? Yeah, I did. Did I? The loose pivot of the balance wheel. Did you see the pivot of the balance wheel? You found the loose. Hey Wilco, goed dat je erbij bent man. Gezellig, leuk. Oh, the loose pivot. No, it wasn't. Okay. But why? Why not protect such a... Try to find a part more intricate than this. Hard to find. And why not protect it even better? Then again, the protection is in the lubrication, so... But still, I think you know what I mean. We have to clean it, but, well, maybe it starts eating away. The amount of parts, individual parts, just in this automatic winding module is mind-boggling. And then the finishing. Completely insane. And that's why these watches are so, in my view, underrated. Well, there, the click. Eventjes mooi op maat. There. There, somebody used the tweezer and just made a mark. It's so unnecessary. Do the same, but just with peg boot. Hey. The ratchet wheel was turning very slowly. There. There we go. And here the play. You don't see much of this. And here, an early 70s Longines with the anglage and the finishing of a real luxury brand, in my view. Omega design, yeah. Hey Sasho, hi there. California. So. Well, powers from the mainspring. There, that one is released. Check, check, triple check. Do you see this? Will I play with a light? So that means the pivot of the arbor through the bridge. That seems okay. No sidewards play. But when I play with the barrel, there's plenty of that. So the barrel around the arbor got some play, and the arbor in the bridge seems okay. And the design of this spring, lovely. You probably know, but about this design of this spring. Seems like an afterthought, because I think even that some of these 66, 51 or 41, some in the same family, so derived movements, don't have a sweep second. And you probably know by now, but it's easier to show why this spring is there. This is the pinion for the sweep second. And there is some play there. Do you see that? I can move that wheel, and now you can see there is some space between the teeth. There. If this tension spring isn't pushing down, the sweep second hand will go like this, because of the play here between the teeth. So this spring is pushing down, costing amplitude, causing more friction, because everything in watchmaking is reducing friction, but now this is pushing down, creating friction. So the space between the teeth is always pushing instead of able to do this. Just the high polish. Here. It is probably chemically polished, but still no anglage, but it is a lovely looking, beautiful part, the pallet fork. Especially in contrast with the main plate and the bridge for the pallet fork. It's well done. Quality. Ja, hoe krijg je die eraf? It is stuck due to the centering pins. If I really put in the lever action, it probably end up in the in the ceiling. There we are. Gently, gently, gently. Do you see, I wanted to push down with the tweezer, but of course, last moment decision, don't do it. No need. Just to get underneath, and there we go. There. There we are. It is, look at that, just polished on one side. Industrial, but just well done. And then end-to-end test. Do you see that it's stopping so suddenly? It is taking so much effort to push through. This is just 2, maybe 3 function groups, winding and gear train. Oh, and maybe I can show you the play between the teeth a bit more like this. That's visible, right? But it's sticky. There's something going on. Just doesn't feel natural. Maybe just lack of lubrication. But there is something going on. Something fishy. Ah, well. Stickiness part 1, Exhibit A. Oh, look at that. Steve, oh, thank you so much for your super gift. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Thank you. There. Stickiness, Exhibit 1. Extremely old lubrication, dried up, making a mess. There. And still you read in some forums that, well, mechanical watches don't need some maintenance really. Nah. Okay. Well, now we know for absolutely sure. No more power on the mainspring. This is concerning. Could be a do not open main barrel. Was this the movement with the extremely long dial feed screws? Because I believe this is the dial feed, because there you can see the date ring. So there was no space over here. So you got extremely long dial feed screws. I think it was this this movement. Yeah. Then this one. Let me see. Plop. To get in there. Yeah. There. Here. That one and that one. I just did this like that. And now gently, hopefully, remove this huge spring. It's too big for the microscope. That's why I want to do it. There on the workbench. Insane huge spring. But went well. Then we can remove the case ring. There. And now the dial is still protected by the case. Verdomme case. And there. I find it peculiar that no signs of rust or moisture. But again here, these stains and the stains on the in the automatic winding module tells a different story. Look what I found. Cheers, everybody. Yeah. There we go. There. All you need. Is there some well worn with all the scratches on the top. And now I kind of like the crosshair dial, I must admit. Maybe better like this without the those small dots. Is that well, the Ultra-Chron is made. If I play with light, maybe we see if those dots and debris is underneath the top varnish. Oh, and I love this. This is just design, got nothing to do with horology, but here the tips of the print. I think the white dots is moisture. But here the tip of the print, just hand filled with lume. It's just a lovely design. But I think the white dots are moisture, residue. And here on the hands, yeah. I think so. Rob, absolutely right and completely agree. They're simple but elegant designs. It's beautiful. You don't need too much. Beer and watchmaking. Aha. Hey, Johannesburg. Lovely. Late to the party. Hi, Ellen. Good to see you. Yeah. Is that pitting? I think it is. It is on top. Oh, look at that. If I play with the light, it is the base material corroding, pushing upwards the top layer. So it is the reverse of pitting. But it's an excellent question. Here. So those hands, this is just corrosion of the base metal. Especially here, it's the best visible. Pukkeltjes in Dutch. It is just pukkeltjes. Yeah. So, yeah. Interesting. Hey, Chuck, a new member. Nice. Thank you so much for your support. If you enjoy this as much as I do, please hit the like button. That is so helpful for the channel. If you don't mind. There. Still think it's moisture. Yeah. Here. More contrast. Corrosion of the base metal. So this is the plot thickens. The movement is perfectly aligned with the dial. Simply, the cannon pinion is completely in the middle of the hole in the dial. That doesn't add up with the broken balance staff. If you're wearing this watch, which is perfectly running, and as I give you €100 if you break the balance staff right now. How do you do that? Just you bang it somewhere. Especially with the KIF shock system, I really don't believe that it's possible with wearing a watch like this, with the shock protection, to break a balance staff with the movement still perfectly aligned with the dial. Because it has to be a side impact for the balance staff to break, because this one won't break, because that's the design of the shock system. Sorry, please allow me, because we have new viewers. takes just a minute. If you've seen this 1,000 times before, well, if you're new to the game, it's nice to have a clear view. Balance wheel, spring, capstone, chaton, and there the broken balance staff. Oh, this is actually KIF, this is the same that's in here. A balance wheel, isochronism, has to move as freely as possible. So just like this, nothing, then it hits the escapement and then it goes the other way, nothing at all. So you need the pivot as small as possible. Hardened steel, burnished, so that it's perfectly flat and even harder on the outside. And that is moving freely. Niks aan de hand. Hoepie doepie doe. But due to physics, the smaller the hardened steel pivot, if there's an impact, well, the balance wheel is heavy. It has to be heavy for the isochronism. So the first thing to break is here the balance staff, which happened here in this Longines. So from 1948, I'm quite aware of the exceptions, hold your horses, but as a rule of thumb, 1948 is the game changer. There is Inca block and there are at least 128 different type of shock systems, but Inca block is the most common, and KIF there is genius. Here the spring you just saw from the top, and shock system means if there's an impact in the balance wheel, it can move. Yeah, because of the spring and because of these sides, it's always pushed back to the center, 45 degrees. So during an impact, there is some play here in the shock system, which means if there's some room to move, John Mayall, then the impact is here and there, the wide side of the balance staff, and not the tiny pivot. So the impact force is deflected to there and there. And then after the impact, the spring is pushing back the shock system, and the balance wheel has got some tiny bit of space there, and it runs perfectly again. So in my view, how to break a balance staff pivot can only be during a sidewards impact, but that doesn't break the pivot with this construction. And an upward impact won't break the balance pivot. So the only thing I can think of, my scenario, is when they try to assemble the watch, the pivot wasn't straight and they pushed down the balance cock. Just about that. The Eric rust, interesting, but that's why the screws and watch parts are highly polished. Of course, less friction, so better timing, accuracy. But a balance staff will not easily rust because a highly polished surface is not too prone for rust. That's why the screws are beautifully polished and all the other parts, they don't rust. Hey Kees, leuk dat je erbij bent. Was the bridge screwed down properly? Yeah, it was. The man with the golden screwdriver, Scaramanga. Sorry for the deflection, but yeah, that's shock system, and that's why I cannot believe, I really do not believe that the pivot broke during wearing, and there wasn't a huge impact, otherwise this dial wouldn't be so perfectly aligned with the movement. Okay. There. These are insanely long dial feed screws, if I remember correctly. In my world, this is extremely long. Or we have very small hands. There's the next. Oh, lovely to see the setting lever in situ. Lovely. Yeah. Hard to come by, those dial feed screws. Yeah, there are just two. Yeah, doctor, scalpel. These incredibly thin, and you can use some leverage. Yeah, there we go. There. And then the other side. I'm not going in between the movement and the dial, but this time I used the hole for the dial feed screw for leverage. There. There, the manufacturer. Geneva. This I cannot explain. I find it completely... that isn't done with looking for the center. That would be so sad. I'm not willing to believe that. And now you can see, due to the... you can see even the shadow of the date ring, that there isn't space for the dial feed to be more closer to the edge. So that's why they opted for very long dial feed. Yeah. And no need to touch it. Okay. Now we are entering the more... we are leaving the artisan side, and this is more industrial. Because that spring is already nerve-wracking. Well, if you're streaming live watchmaking. This is the, I believe, the instantaneous date setting. Ooh. Wow. That is not, oh. Yeah, unexpected. Especially because of the lack of play in the main barrel. First I thought it was just the hour wheel here, the outside, but the inside is the cannon pinion. Okay, didn't expect that. But first things first, this horrible spring. Did you see the Chris Spinner video with safety goggles, helmet on, to release a spring? So well done. This is just way too much power. Please look away, get a coffee, go to the toilet, let me be. Yeah. Oh, I got no. No, it's just there. Hold your horses. No Swiss space program. Well, that tension is released. Here is the hammer. A lovely, lovely construction. You see that? Here. So there is another spring. This is a lever being pushed out by this part, and then the hammer over there is instantaneous, setting the date at 12 o'clock. It's a sign of real luxury if the date just sets in one go, instead of just gently pushing to the next position. That is just, yeah, another way to go. First, I want to work on this side. Yeah. Then I could do some tests because of the, well, this insane play in the hour wheel, cannon pinion, and center wheel. I want to have a clear view in situ what is going on, because this is just insane play. And to be honest, a bit unexpected. So if I clean up this side, I have a much better view what is going on. Well, if you enjoyed the... I have to be a bit commercial. They are telling me. If you enjoyed the explanation of all parts in watchmaking, please consider buying the book Watchmaking Explained. It's in the bio, not now in the description. And everything in watchmaking is there. Ooh, another spring. under tension there. Hey, this is interesting. That mark, there's a lot of force. That is interesting there. And it's pushing. Oh, you do not open the main barrel. Yeah, oh, there we go. That horrible spring is pushing this centering device, which is in between the teeth, of course 31 teeth, and that is centering the number underneath the dial. But first I have to work on this, because if this one goes, that is just horrible. Here. There. But that's an interesting mark. Yeah. Probably caused by play in the instantaneous setting device. Well, the date ring is released at the moment. There. And the instantaneous hammer is again underneath here. Well, I have to release this one to get underneath the rest. Ja, die ging hieronder. Okay, date ring. Don't be alarmed, I'm not really grabbing the date ring, it is resting between my tweezer. So please keep breathing if I lift it. Don't squeeze my tweezer. And it's hanging in between the tweezer, not touching the printed part. Okay, can I release that one? There, do you see the dust? I'll zoom in. It's this is so fragile. And there, the lack of lubrication. Sorry about the focus here. See the dust over there? All the specks. Old lubrication, not doing anything. So the hour wheel, just look at that. What will we find? Then there the hammer device. Quite worried about that. Now remove the cannon pinion. There. I could have opted removing the sweep second pinion first, but then it would be upside down and resting, and now it's nicely supported. So the pivot is still there, even though it's long, it is perfectly straight. Okay, I admit, if you are less experienced and not doing it for long, it's probably safer to remove the sweep second pinion first. Probably see me using an oversized screwdriver for this screw, but there's nothing around it, so now I got a good grip. I'm not scraping the sides or leaving marks or horribleness. There, spring with screw. And now I can gently remove it perfectly straight. The very long sweep second pinion. There we go. Okay, but now I am so curious where the play is coming from. Well, it cannot be the ruby because that is so incredibly hard. So this center wheel there's a lot of end shake. This is end shake. This is division. So there's even or the top or the bottom ruby is out of place. There. And you can decide where you want a bit more space. If you want to put down the top ruby or push up the bottom ruby. That is simply too much. You see, it's almost touching the bridge there. That's why these pinions are usually so long that there's enough space for engaging. Even there, or there, or there. So you can play with the end shake and still engage with a wheel within a pinion. This. Hope that makes sense. Yeah. Well, simple decision. This wheel is over this bridge. So we first have to remove this gear train so we can have access to the rest. No two watches are the same. Even if they are identical calibers, the way they are used, what happened to them. Let's not forget previous watchmakers. The way they are maintained. Here the black dots everywhere. That's just debris and horribleness and really has to be cleaned. I still think these are moisture stains. Just look at the horribleness in the pinion itself. Remember when I did an end-to-end test earlier on, pushing the main barrel and see how the gear train reacted, and I said it's stopping suddenly. Well, that is this crap in the pivots and here in the pinions. You can see the debris underneath, the black dots. Yep. Oh, and again the autofocus test to recognize quality. I try to show the tips of the club teeth, how they are polished. They're lovely. There they are. Oh, that is just highly polished to reduce friction on the pallet fork. Again, well done. Sign of lovely quality. Not a sign of quality is this. Yeah, look at that. And what I love here, usually the winding wheel, if there's a center screw, it is left-handed thread. And now, because otherwise it would unwind during winding, the screw would unwind during the winding of the movement. And here now they have 2 screws, so now they're normal threaded. I really love to see these pinions, and maybe the rubies just aren't the correct size. There must be something. There we go. I really do hope you enjoy streams like this, and if you have suggestions or requests, please let me know. And I hope they're informative. Old, crappy horribleness. Well, if it looks like rust, it shines like rust, probably rust. Yeah. Do you agree? Yeah. Ja. Wow. There we are. Wow, what does it look like? Well, there are some horizontal lines. So it does definitely had some wear. All the crap in the pinion. And then, oh, here again. And here, do not open. Well, with this one you can open, because this is the Seiko side. Just put in a scalpel here in the side. If you try to push it open, just like a normal main barrel, it closes even more. But this one has simply too much play, I think. There, do you see, is it visible? I think it is, right? I use this example many times, so please, again, excuse me if you heard it before. If a ship is on the waves like this, and it's got a huge mast, it's got a huge amplitude, and the ship just does like this. Same with the main barrel. If there's a slightly sideward play, because it's a wide piece, on the sides there's a huge change, and then it touches the barrel bridge, or on the other side it touches the main plate. It started to scrape, you lose a lot of friction, and you lose the push on the gear train. Push on the gear train means a push in the escapement and amplitude, and that is accuracy. So we have to address this play. We call that, hammer time, and again, all in the book. How you reduce a hole size when there's a lot of play in there. Well, at least we know for sure that maintenance really was needed. We may have to replace the center wheel. Definitely have to reduce the play in the main barrel, even though it says do not open. Doable, definitely doable. We have to replace either the balance staff or the balance complete. Luckily we have a huge collection of parts, and we have to check the beats per hour. This is 28,800 and not the 36,000 beats per hour. They're really high beat. Interesting journey again. So many contradictions just in one movement. I really don't believe that during normal use a balance staff could break. No chance. It's been quite some time because there was horribleness even below the capstone. When we finished, it's going to be a lovely watch. Affordable, but for horology and watchmaking, so underappreciated. So all of you, thank you so much for your attention. It is the 9th year. Yeah, we've been doing it 9 years, every single Tuesday, 8:30 Central European Time. Please hit the like button. That would be so nice for the growth of our YouTube channel, so other people will see it as well. Present it to them, and yeah, enjoy your day. And lovely to have you here in the chat, and just lovely to see you again, allowing me on your screen. All of you, enjoy your evening. Thank you so much. See you.